If you're not excited about your book, then other people aren't going to be excited about your book. So be like Harry. My name is April Cox. I am the founder of Little Labradoodle Publishing and creator of Self-Publishing Made Simple, where we help authors move forward through their self-publishing process, help them so that they are not being taken advantage of, and give them the handholding they need to move forward. This presentation is part of my Mastermind group, a small group that we get together a couple of times a month and continue to grow. Today's topic is really focusing on holiday sales. How can we be preparing for holiday sales? What should we be doing? I want to put together something that I can deliver back to you guys with a compilation of the ideas that came, starting with my own and also expanding on what you are doing together. So if you're watching this on replay, then post additional things that we have not discussed as well, and we'll collaborate and incorporate all of that. How to increase Christmas sales. I was just mentioning to the group before recording that the holidays seem to be picking up earlier this year than I have seen before. And the reason why I'm just more in tune with it is because I've got some authors that I've been helping who have Christmas books and started turning on ads with the Christmas in July kind of stuff that was going on. And that had a little bit of an uptick, and then things kind of died down for a little bit, but then starting towards the middle to end of August, and then picking up even more in September, we started seeing more and more and more sales. And that really took me by surprise, because Christmas books selling in August and September, that means that we as authors need to really be prepared for holiday sales earlier on. So that's one of the things that we'll talk about today is holiday preparations, doing some goal setting and really being very focused on what you're hoping to accomplish with the year. Also creating a plan of how you're going to reach those goals, improving your visibility, and we'll talk about different options, and then some other simple things, and then wrap it up with a summary of everything that we're doing. So the very first thing that I want to talk about here is your listing itself ready? And the reason why I start with this is because no matter how well you prepare for holidays, no matter how much you plan and you get out there, if you don't have a high quality book and a listing that's going to capture people's attention, it's not going to sell very well. People are not going to Christmas events and rushing over to the tables of subpar books, right? We have to make sure the product that we are selling is really good. And think about, at this holiday type season, what can you do to refresh your listing? Do something a little bit special. Maybe there's a tweak for your cover. One of the things that I've seen a lot of people doing is taking instead of just a flat cover, which we see on our Amazon pages, uploading like a 3D version of the cover. Some people don't have holiday books, so how can you get attention with that cover image when people are scrolling? There's a way that you can add little holiday bow or something on it that attracts people's attention and says, oh, let me look at this, and just something a little bit different. And we can go over a little of that as well as we kind of move through things. Really take a look at your hook and your description, because around the holiday season, you may want to be talking about things like it's a perfect gift for. What's the hook, for the rest of the year that might make people want to look at this, versus around Christmas time, the description might want to change. You might want to just be talking about things a little bit differently. So now's the time to really take a look at your listing and see what you can do to kind of spruce that up and make it more focused around holidays or more appealing to people that are shopping for holiday gifts. That also goes for competitive pricing. When you're looking at types of things you can do to get attention around the holidays. If other people's prices are starting to drop to get more sales and yours stays the same, you're going to miss out because people are always looking for holiday deals as well as unique gifts for the kids. So think about your pricing. And there are some things you can do. I know Amazon does, sometimes they raise our price or lower our price without our knowledge, but there are things we can also do to help with competitive pricing. There's also, promotional. We can take our ebook and mark it down to 99 cents. We can make it free. There are things that we can do around pricing that just a little way of telling Amazon to pay a little more attention, because these little changes can mean better conversion, more traffic to the listing itself. Many of you are using A+ content already, and that is kind of a visual mini website, like at the bottom of your listing. It's something that Amazon has pushed out and now allows KDP authors to add for themselves. It used to be reserved for big brands, but if you are not using A+ content, then take a look at it. And I'm happy to share an A+ guide that kind of gives you step-by-step instructions and a video that walks you through it. We won't go into that now, but if you are using A+ content already, perhaps consider refreshing some of that, because a nice Christmas setting with a child holding your book may be a great replacement for that every day, every part of the year kind of child reading the book, right? So adding a little Christmas holiday cheer to the listing in one way or another, that might be a great way to add that visual, and that those things make people feel something when they see the holiday stuff. They see the changes. They might not even be aware of it, but it can create that emotion that will make people click to buy. So again, think about the imagery and the A+ content. Also, don't forget that you have an Amazon author page. If you have not taken a look at it in a while, maybe now's the time to do it. Do I want to take a picture of myself with the Santa hat on? Maybe for the holidays, swap it out. Maybe I just want to take a fresh look at how I'm being described. Maybe I forgot to claim my last book or two, because sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind, these kind of things. So it's time to put up those holiday decorations in, figuratively speaking. There's more, when you think about how you can make things more festive, there's lots of different ways. If I have a more festive photo when I'm on Facebook interacting, they're going to be attracted, or they'll see, oh, something's different about April. She's got this, Santa hat on or whatever. But you also have things like Facebook banners, right? My current banner shows a winter storm on my personal Facebook page. I think it's about time I go in and update that picture, maybe put something more festive there, right? But so take a look at, a fresh look at what people see as they're interacting with you, and how can you make that better? Okay. So and we see Bobby Hinman's new book that just launched, I Saw Santa's Underpants. I just put it there because I thought it was fun. Goal setting. So how are you going to set goals for Christmas? For some of you, this may not be your first Christmas. So you may be able to look at what you did last year and you're trying to improve on that. Maybe dusting off some of the people that really collaborated well with you last year, and you're trying to just continue to grow on what you've done previously. Anything out there that you do that's brand new, you're going to benefit from having a plan and just pulling that together and just being thoughtful about it. And so as we think about goals, some of the things that I try to do early on is thinking about and finding the local events that you can take advantage of. We had a local craft fair. We have some of the churches do big Christmas events. And I keep saying Christmas, but there's holiday things, and there's, it's not just about a Christian holiday. There's other things, other activities going on. So is there an opportunity for you to display? Maybe the tables are all sold and you can't display anything? Will they let you do a book reading? Maybe kind of be a guest at somebody else's booth, do a book reading and be able to sell some things at that point, because there's a lot of kids coming to these events. And so thinking outside the box, local events, and this goes, any time of the year, but if you do what you love, it is going to be so much less stressful and do more of it, right? There are some people out there who are just zany and just love being out there with kids. They want to do school visits. Well, perhaps if that's you, then your goal could be, I'm going to do 1 or 2 school visits a week in the months of November, around the holidays, and December. I want to try to line up all these schools. Well, if that's part of your goal, you're going to start reaching out and letting them know that you're available to do a book reading. And, maybe you make it free. I'll do a book reading for free, and I have an order form to send home so that you have an opportunity to get some holiday sales, get a boost of what you're doing, and actually make some things start moving for you. So if you love events, then do more events. If you absolutely love kids and, library things, I have a little Labradoodle mascot that it's just a mascot costume. If you really love getting out there and being silly and, dress up, go out and do things that can help bring some attention to your book, but be planful about it and set those goals so that you have a steady increase in activities through the Christmas season. I would also say when you're doing your goal setting, push outside your comfort zone. Yes, do more of what you love, but now take 1 or 2 new things that you haven't tried and start playing around with that to just grow your marketing skills and give yourself an opportunity to really see whether or not maybe you can start making headway in areas maybe that you haven't done before. If you've never done library events, or maybe you've never put on an event yourself and you're thinking, gee, I think I'm going to push myself out of the comfort zone. I'm going to do like a kids party, and I'm going to do readings, and I'm going to do, who knows what your, big idea is. It could be even collaborating with others in a way that is very unique and different for you. But make sure your plan has some of those things in it. Also, don't forget to think about bulk orders. We had a guest that I interviewed earlier this year, and he just said, when you're thinking about sales, all too often we're thinking about the one-to-one sales. But if you think about who actually needs your book and think about bulk sales, then you're also going to start setting goals a little bit differently. You're going to start putting different people on your contact list that may make a big shift, because if you're able to sell in bulk, then that's going to make a big difference in your holiday sales as well. So think about who needs my book, maybe what corporation does a lot with literacy around the holidays. Do you need to contact them and, see if they would be willing to sponsor a school visit or sponsor donations of some of your books to, a special charitable organization or something like that? If you don't ask and you don't reach out and you don't develop those relationships, then you're not going to push yourself outside that comfort zone, and you're just not going to see those bulk sales if you don't think in that way. Also, take a look at opportunities, and when you're doing your goal setting and you're doing your planning, introduce a sense of urgency. I remember one time it really stuck with me. I was putting one of my author groups together, and somebody responded to an email blast that I put out there. Thank you for giving me a reason to buy today, because I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I've just been putting it off, but I saw you had a specific sale that ended tomorrow. So I bought today. I signed up today. So it just made me think about, well, how else can we make sure that we're adding a sense of urgency, for those that sign up to have me in the month of November and December for a school visit? I'm going to give, the first 5 people, it'll be free. And I'm going to donate to school library. So, wow, that's like, oh, I'm going to go sign up right now versus, hey, if you know anybody that might want a school visit, a free school visit, let me know, right? It's a different way of talking about things. It introduces a sense of urgency and, maybe priority. The first so many people that take this action get something extra special, whatever that is for you and your book. For every one of us, the goals and the plan is going to be different because we're at a different point in our author journey. And so there's not a one size fits all. And that's why I wanted to talk about goal setting up front, creating a holiday plan. So one thing that I'm going to put here, I don't know how many of you know Harry. Harry is Bobby Hinman's husband. Bobby is, a frequent visitor on author work groups and things like that. And she talks about Harry, who is her husband. He is her biggest cheerleader. They can be in the supermarket and he gets talking to people and he tells about her book that she just released. And he just chatters and just so much fun. And he's so excited and so proud of her. And he'll be in line or they'll be in a restaurant eating and he's sold 3 books because he talks to people. He goes, oh yeah, so we've got this book and this, and my wife wrote a book and this. And then he'll go to the car and bring books out. And he's constantly got books in his car. He makes them available. He talks to everybody he meets about what he's doing. And he's excited about what his wife has been able to accomplish. And he is just amazing. So I will strive this holiday season to be more like Harry, to tell more people what's going on. So many authors keep quiet and they don't want to brag, or they feel like if they talk about their book, people are going to think that there's some slimy salesperson trying to say, buy my book, buy my book. It doesn't have to be that way. And everybody has a different approach to just being excited. If you're not excited about your book, then other people aren't going to be excited about your book. So be like Harry and talk to more people. Start early, work on your message. So, think about what's the message of your book. And then how can you incorporate a holiday message into that? You can talk about the benefits of the book, talk about what it does for the kids instead of what they can do for you, right? So that can really help a lot. The other thing I put here too is what kind of content can you create in preparation for the holiday plan? I'll just give one example. I have a picture of my character, my Brady the dog, and I had the illustrator put a holiday hat and a holiday scarf and put like Christmas balls. And so I created this cool little thing that I could post in different spots, maybe create some do like a Christmas photo shoot with your book, perhaps have kids holding your book, or if you're going to go visit Santa, or you're going to go do, some holiday shopping, or it's snowing, put your book in the snow, take a picture of it, right? There's lots of things like that you can do to try to add that festivity, create content that you can share. If there are things that, about the message of your book, and maybe, for example, the holiday images that I'm doing with my Labradoodle, maybe I could create some coloring pages or mazes and things like that and just have them for free at events or downloadable on my website, things like that. So think about what kind of content that you want to create, because if you've got ideas on what you want to do and you plan it out at the beginning, you give yourself the time to create it. And then okay, I'm going to post these on these days, and you can schedule things ahead of time. Also, relationships are really important. Every year as an author, you start as a new author, you don't have a lot of reach typically other than your friends, your colleagues, your family. And that reach grows and grows and grows as you do events, as you share information about your book, as you develop those relationships. It's really important to help you grow your author platform. And those relationships are folks that you're going to following up with at different times in the year, following up the next year. As you're working through these things, Think about connections that you can make, whether they are with social media folks or it's with a local organization in your town or your city that can help you or that's looking to, put some events together, making those connections and just asking people if maybe the book isn't right for them or they're not working on an event. If you just ask the question, do you have anyone that you might recommend that I follow up with? Usually, if you don't ask that question, they're not going to think about giving you that answer off the top of their head. But if you ask the question, sometimes they'll come in, oh yeah, this person, they do this and that, and they'll give you some additional people to follow up with. And then you can contact them and say, so-and-so thought you might be interested in this. And that's a great subject line to be able to get somebody to open your email and to consider your proposal. The other thing too, is when you're talking to people that, they don't even have kids, there's nothing that would make you think that they would want to buy your book. But as you start sharing and you talk about it and you've got excitement, they're usually like, oh, you should talk to so-and-so because, or, I have a friend who this would be perfect for. And so you have that opportunity, but you just have to be willing to put yourself out there and let your excitement shine through. It's infectious. Okay, so let's talk about ways that you can improve visibility around the holidays. So Amazon ads can be really helpful. They also can be very competitive with bidding around this time. So if you've got ads running already, you're going to want to be prepared to up those bids. Like I said, maybe refreshing that cover with something a little fancier or a 3D image, maybe add a little splash of the holiday in there. Your keywords might also change at this time of the year. Like Christmas gift book for kids, you can put that in your keywords. So maybe the rest of the year, that's not an important keyword, but maybe at this time of the year, updating your 7 keywords and then also using those in your sponsored ads will help you get more visibility. There's also categories that, perhaps Christmas and certain gift categories that you might not have considered. Maybe do a fresh pull of those categories because number one, Amazon's always adding new categories. Are you in the best one? So take a fresh look at your keywords and categories coming up to the Christmas season. And when you are creating an Amazon ad, think about the verbiage you're going to use, right? You have a message, great, perfect gift book. You can use holiday verbiage and encourage and kind of elicit some of that goodwill as you start using terms in your ad that people are going to recognize. Some will call it a hook, others will just, but it's really just what is going to work around the holidays that gets people clicking through and purchasing, converting on the books. And sometimes that's some trial and error. Every year you'll get better. You'll see what things are working for you and your plans will get better and more detailed. There's also a great opportunity to, if you love to write, which we are all authors, right? Can you write a blog post and guest post for some other blogger, maybe that you've been building a relationship with, or, somebody that does children's book reviews. If your book is Christmas themed or you want to tie it to a Christmas theme, top 10 books for the holidays, social emotional books for the holidays. What a great post, right? You can write it yourself. Maybe your book is one of them, but you can pull from others, or you can touch base with bloggers that you've built relationships with or build new relationships with and say, hey, I want to do some holiday-based posting. I'm glad to write a guest post for you. That gives them something valuable because then they don't have to worry about their content that month. Or are you doing any kind of holiday post? I would love to collaborate with you on it. And so getting yourself out there, you can also, of course, you're going to want to modify your website, right? If you've got holiday specials, you've got things going on, Santa photos, like what Linda was saying, a pop-up when people go to your website talking about the holiday gift set you have, right? These things will help build more sales as well. Social media, right? I just mentioned as I was preparing for all this, I'm saying, how well am I prepared for the holidays? And I haven't done any of it. I've been so busy helping other people publish books that I haven't done much. And my personal Facebook has a winter scene from last winter. I haven't updated it since then. So could I do, put some cute holiday posts, change my profile, post, that the holidays are coming and only so many more days to Christmas, right? Social media, you can say things and show things that are more holiday themed as we get closer to the holidays, and just remind people that your book is a great gift idea. That also goes for, lifestyle images are really good to post around this time of year too. So if you've got somebody that has purchased your book in the past, you can ask them to hold up the book, hey, can you go sit by the Christmas tree, or let me take photos of you? And there's even an author in one of the other groups who has beautiful kids. She's a photographer, and she sets up things, and she'll allow authors to send their books. And for a small fee, she'll give them a photo shoot of her children with the book. And it ends up being some nice things that you can do. I've seen other authors put together, actually go and create a photo shoot with their family, with the book, create a beautiful gift wrap thing where they show their book being unwrapped, and they're posting these kinds of things. And it just, like, the whole feeling of their social media feels so warm, so wonderful, and it just makes you want to act. So what can you do with regard to social media? Are there events coming up that maybe, like, are you doing an event? Are you doing a reading? Are you doing something that maybe can be tied into local events with the media? Maybe you want to let them know some of the things that's going on with you. Opportunities to get some publicity or appear on a show. Just start with your local media. Could be a local radio show. It could be a podcast. A lot of us just don't extend ourselves there. But this is the time of year to, maybe part of your plan can be, I'm going to contact 5 people a week, whether it's radio, media, every day I'm going to contact one person and reach out to see how much leads I can generate. Make the goals manageable, but hold yourself accountable, or get an accountability buddy to kind of help you through this. Facebook groups are also a fantastic way of connecting and finding your perfect audience. So perhaps there are nature lovers and people who are fanatical about river otters and things like that. That would be a great fit and a perfect audience for Linda's book. Well, if that's the case, and you are introducing yourself in those groups, yes, there are going to be some restrictions to what you can and cannot post. I found that some of the admins, when I reach out, I'll say, hey, I've got a book to give away. Would it be okay if I post it in the group? I would really love that. And sometimes they'll say no. And so, you make note of that. Other times they will allow you to do it, or they'll say, hey, why don't I post it for you? Because I'm more active in the group, I'll get more traffic. And you end up finding grace and finding people that are willing to support your efforts. But you won't know if you don't ask, right? That's what Linda was saying too. You need to ask. You need to speak up. And you'll find the most common Facebook groups. I was watching a presentation from Stacey Bauer, and she had some great ideas around Facebook groups and just saying, post a question like, hey, I've got this cover and this cover. Love to get some ideas. You're not posting a link. You're just asking a question. And people are responding. And then they're asking, hey, where can I get this? When is it coming out? You get interest. You just post a question, ask for some feedback. Hey, I'm just getting ready to launch my Christmas book in a couple of months, but I got to finalize this cover and I just can't make up my mind. But those kinds of things you can do. And groups, you're not going to get kicked out for asking a question. Or when you join a new group and you have an opportunity to introduce yourself, you can say, I'm a children's book author working on my first Christmas book, and you can give information about yourself. And quite often people will respond to that and saying, oh, what's the name of your book? Or when's it coming out? And you can, in the comments, quite often people will ask you to post the comments to it. Another thing that I've seen people do very successfully is post about somebody else's book for them. If you have an author network, just say, I have a little Labradoodle book, right? If I've got an author that happens to be a member of a number of Labradoodle Facebook groups, Labradoodle fanatical Facebook groups, then that person could say, look what I found. This is so cool. I'm getting a couple for Christmas. Thought you guys might like it. You're not self-promoting. That person could be a collaborator for you, with you, and or just believes in your book can share it on your behalf. And there's nothing wrong with that. So how can you help orchestrate more sharing in Facebook groups of your offers? Events and more communication will be important for visibility. When I say communication, I'm thinking about, many of us have worked hard to get a launch team together, and we have an email list. And then a whole year goes by and we haven't even emailed them, right? Are you communicating well with the people that are on your email list? Don't send them an email, buy my book just before the holidays with no other communication from you. So now is the time to start warming them up, sharing a little about your holiday plans. What's going on with you? Are you working on a new book, right? Just do a little warm up communications, posting on your socials as well, and make sure that you are communicating and warming up your audience. But then now also, this is planning. You're planning and you're thinking you're going to improve your visibility. What kind of communication are you going to have through the holiday? My recommendation is create those emails. I'm going to send an email a week for the first so many weeks. And then on Christmas, coming up on Christmas, the 2 weeks before Christmas, I'm going to send one email every other day. And, put the emails together ahead of time. You can schedule them. You can put your social media posts ahead of time. I love just blocking off a day or two, using my creative mind, putting together a bunch of different posts and then scheduling them so that now all of that's done for my holiday month. I don't have to worry about it. Recently, I was like, oh crap, it's anti-bullying month, right? I haven't done anything with it for my anti-bullying books. I'm so busy with Christmas launches with my work group that I've not done a good job of marketing that. Don't let that happen to you with Christmas. Plan it ahead and start thinking more about the plan that's coming. Maybe plan a quarter ahead at a time and start thinking about, or getting help. If you're not the best when it comes to writing copy, writing emails, there are people out there that you can hire on Upwork or whatever, just to write copy for you, write some emails for you. And you can give them some ideas and some guidance, and then they can create them. There are social media assistants out there. It doesn't have to be totally stressful and, add a lot of work to you if you have connections or individuals that can help you. And I'm happy if you need referrals, I've got, people that can do both of those things. Promotions and collaboration, right? Around the holidays, you'll see authors coming together with Christmas books, or, hey, here's 10 social emotional books. Download them all for free on such and such a day. There's also promotions that you can do, like free ebook promotions, or my holiday gift set is on sale for $20. You get the hardcover book, the plush, and the coloring book for $20. It's going to be signed. You have to order it from my website. Like, that's a promotion. That's a special thing that you're doing for Christmas. And you have an opportunity to pull those kinds of things together, but plan ahead how you're going to create that demand and collaborate with people that are interested in working together to sell more books as a team. Things that, a little bit of innovative. I'll throw something out there. I was a part of another Facebook group, and they did an Advent calendar. It was digital online. You could go sign up for like adventcalendar.com or something, and you can create your own Advent calendar. And what they would do is the different people that wanted to collaborate would say, oh, on this day, you get this book for free. On this day, you get so-and-so's downloadable free coloring pages. And so every day they were going to the page and clicking on something for an Advent free gift. What a great way of collaborating with people. I've also seen giveaways where authors will get together, or you can do it yourself. There's a tool called King Sumo. And if you go to kingsumo.com, you can the tool is free. You can create a giveaway, and it's fantastic. I've done it in the past where I partnered with other authors and we purchased a children's fire tablet that that the people that are going to enter this have a child. And then we had all of the authors that were partnering on this. We kind of went in on the price of that tablet, and everybody who entered the giveaway got all of our books for free. We had a free day as like everybody wins, everybody gets all the free. But then with King Sumo, the software will pick a winner for you, which is wonderful. I did that live, which was another way to generate some excitement. But one thing that I really love about the King Sumo is you can add ways that people can get more entries. So if they share your Facebook post, if they watch a video, if they follow you on Instagram. So all of a sudden, people that really want this, number one, have a giveaway of something that's going to attract your perfect audience. And then when you've attracted them to this giveaway, you have them sharing and they get extra entries. You have them following you. You can have all kinds of different ways that they can get additional entries. And it's all part of the tool. And it's really, really fun. And you can post it everywhere. One year, because I was trying to attract audience of authors for my self-publishing program, I actually gave away a free publishing package. They got me managing their book. They got my editor, my favorite illustrator, my graphic designer in a publishing package. And so you can imagine it attracted a lot of authors who would have loved to have their children's book published. And one of the caveats is they had to be ready to move forward with, they had to have a manuscript completed and ready to move forward in my upcoming author work group. So think about what kinds of things you can do to collaborate and thinking outside the box, an advent calendar, a giveaway, these kinds of things can really generate excitement. More holiday sales. So I'm just going to do a recap here. We said, refresh your listing, set your goals, create a plan, and improve your visibility, create the content, make sure that you're focusing on relationships. And what you are going to need is a positive mindset. Even if you just get a little group of you together and you brainstorm and you work together to get it done, you're going to want to think about things that are going to be, with a positive mindset that could be successful, right? You want it to be a positive experience in all of this. And forget about your comfort zone, push past that, guys, because if you want to really get the holiday sales, then you're going to need to step out of your comfort zone. Not 80% of the stuff you do needs to be out of your comfort zone, but how about 10 or 20%, right? So think about how are you going to stretch yourself this year and improve your holiday sales. And then do some creative thinking. I had one author who put together a children's party, Christmas party, and every child got a gift of the book. They had food, like snacks for the kids. They had music and songs. They had Santa. She sold tickets to it. It brought sales for her book. It also was a lot of fun. She got extra press around it so that, she had the local media stop by and see what they were doing. She collected, I think, cans for the homeless and things like that. So there were lots of ways that she was able to use this to not only sell the book, but have some positive press around it and get the word out about what she was doing in the community. So just be creative and just think outside the box, and you'll be surprised what you can do with holidays. I failed to mention, and I meant to bring this up earlier, but most of you will have writers groups, author groups that get together. Like I have the Association of Rhode Island Authors in Rhode Island, and they plan holiday events all the time. If I'm not plugged into that association and I'm not aware of it, there may be things also in your local chamber of commerce. Like call around and post on some of the, Facebook sites within your community, that whether they're yard sale sites or other things, and say, hey, I'm looking for holiday events. Call your chamber of commerce, look up, writing groups. Are they putting together a big event? Sometimes with ARIA, they actually will purchase a number of booths at a particular event, and then you just sign up with them and you share a table with someone, but you have an opportunity to step into a lot more because they've reserved them way ahead of time, where you may not be able to get in yourself at this late date, but they've already blocked things off and you can usually slide in. So don't miss that opportunity and get that collaboration. And as you build knowledge and build relationships with other authors in your community, you're also going to hear more and more. Swing for the fences too. It doesn't have to be 80%, but 10% of the time, figure out like what would be the best case scenario that could happen this year. And what do you need to do for that swing for the fences home run to happen? Because if you don't put action in place, it's not going to happen. Then it's an absolute no, right? Think about those kind of things. And I'd love to hear more as we're going through our mastermind meetings on what you guys are doing. We can follow up and share in the mastermind Facebook group or on my Learn to Self-Publish group if you're not a mastermind member. But yes, let's continue to support and think about ways that we can collaborate more together as a children's book author group. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I really appreciate your time today, and I look forward to seeing all the great things you guys are doing.